Hi everyone, I'm in the kitchen today and I'm sharing my recipe for caldo, which is a Mexican vegetable soup. I make mine with chicken and my family just loves it. So it's a nice cold day and I thought it would be a perfect time for it. I also got inspiration from a fellow YouTuber. Her name is AliciaLynn, that's her channel's name, and I'll link her video down in the description bar, but she shared a recipe for potato soup and I tried it last week and we absolutely loved it. So maybe that's a recipe that you would want to try as well. But I hope you enjoy this and I hope you're able to try the recipe as well. So I have the entire recipe with all the ingredients, the exact measurements, and all the instructions in the description bar. I start by rinsing the chicken. And I make sure to wash my hands really well after every time handling the raw chicken, and I also wash my sinks as well. These chicken breasts are really large, so I cut them up into several pieces just to make it easier to eat in the soup. And I also cut off some of the extra fat and skin from the chicken thighs because they're fatty and it just kind of transfers into the soup if you don't. I also like to use the chicken with the bone. It seems to add a lot more flavor and we prefer it. I heat up olive oil in the pan and then I like to brown the chicken breasts. Some people will just boil them. To me, it just adds a little bit different flavor if you get that brown on the chicken. I also add a little salt and pepper to the chicken while it's cooking. Then I add the onions and the garlic, and I put enough water to cover the chicken. It's usually about 2 quarts, I would say. I added a can of tomatoes and green chilies, and then I followed it with all the spices, which is the knor, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and comino. I also added some celery and some bell pepper. And then I normally put the broccoli in at this point. For some reason I forgot, so you'll see me add it in a little bit. And then I bring it to a boil and I put it on low and let it simmer and cover it and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. So while the soup is simmering, then I rinse off all the vegetables and I cut them up as well. So I somehow forgot to press record while I was cutting up the vegetables, but I like to leave them kind of big so that they don't get all mushy and disintegrate into nothing. But I have already at this point put in the carrots, and then I added the potatoes, and I'll usually let those simmer for about 10 minutes, and then I'll go back and add in the squash and the corn on the cob. The last thing I add is the cabbage, and I usually add that about 5 minutes after the squash is cooked, because obviously the cabbage takes the least amount of time to cook. And I cover it and let the cabbage cook for about another 5 to 10 minutes, and then that's it. It's done. I serve it, and we like to sprinkle a little bit of the cilantro on top. It just gives it a really good flavor.